Georgia's Secretary of State says fellow Republicans are pushing him to exclude legally cast votes and that he and his wife are getting death threats over it. Brad Raffensperger told the Washington Post that GOP Senator Lindsey Graham asked him if political bias could have led poll workers to accept absentee ballots with signatures that do not match. According to the Post, Senator Graham seemed to suggest that Raffensperger find a way to throw out legal ballots. Senator Graham calls the allegation ridiculous. CBS News, by the way, projects that President-elect Biden is the winner in Georgia, where he leads by 14,000 votes. And Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger joins us now. Mr. Secretary, I want to begin with the Lindsey Graham back and forth. We have been following on this show efforts to challenge votes in a variety of states. Mostly that's been lawsuits so far. But now you're saying that Trump ally Lindsey Graham pressured you in a phone call to potentially throw out legally cast ballots. He says that's ridiculous. Why do you believe that's what his intent was?
Well, when Senator Graham called, I just assumed that he was calling about the two runoffs for the senators, so I called him back. And then during our discussion, he asked if ballots could be matched back to the envelope, the absentee ballots could be matched back to the envelope. I explained our process after it went through two sets of signature match. At that point, they were separated. But then Senator Graham applied for us to audit the envelopes and then throw out the ballots for counties who had the highest frequency error of signatures. And that I tried to, help explain that that's because we did signature match, you couldn't tie the signatures back anymore, to those ballots. Just like with if you voted in person, my name is not on my ballot. And so it can't be tied back to me. It's really something that's been around for over 100 years, the secret ballot.
This is a very serious accusation. He says you guys had a pleasant conversation, calls it very nice, and says if you have a problem with it, that's on you. Was there a moment in the call where you said, I'm sorry, Mr. Senator, but what you're asking me to do or suggesting I should do is not up to me and is not right morally, legally, or otherwise?
I really just we got off the call and I said I would circle back, and I talked to counsel and I get back to him, and we just decided the best action was not to, get back and re-engage. Yeah. I thought we were going to be just, he's probably asking what's the status of the senator races, the runoffs. Yeah. When I went down this other path, I think the best thing was just to disengage and, move forward. Yeah. And that's what we're doing right now. We're doing 100% retallying of the votes as part of our audit.
Yeah. Above and beyond what's required, in fact.
We've had a lawsuit from an attorney named Lynn Wood, and we'll, vigorously fight that. We want to make sure that every legal vote counts and every illegal vote doesn't count.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about your life off of that call, because it's been difficult, as I understand it. You and your wife have received death threats. This after you were, in fact, endorsed by President Trump. Now Republicans are piling on. One of those threats said, "You better not botch this recount. Your life depends on it." That's pretty clear. Who do you blame for those text messages? Do you put some blame on the president and his allies who have called your work into question?
I think it's everyone that's just been spinning people up, and understand that we have a lawful process in Georgia. I'm a conservative Republican, always have been. I've never voted for a Democrat. A lot of these people that are, spinning up the crowd used to be Democrats. I've always been a conservative Republican, and I want to make sure we have a lawful process, because I think integrity still matters. We understand that we came through a tough election in 2018. Stacey Abrams lost. She lost by 53,000 votes, and she never went away. She never admitted that she was beaten. So I think making sure that we have election integrity is very important. It's making sure that we finish the drill, that we make sure that we count all legal votes. And at the end of the day, and that's what this audit is going to do, we're going to count every single paper ballot, and then those will be the results, and that is what the state will certify.
You mentioned, you've got to go on living in that state, you and your wife, long after this election is over. Are you concerned that if the president and his allies do not tone down their rhetoric or elevate their speech, as you've put it, you could have trouble?
Well, I think right now people have really inflamed emotions, and I get that. But I think eventually when people really come to, accepting the hard fact, this is what the results are. I, as a Republican, I wish the results would go another way. But I think at the end of the day, what you're going to see is this audit is going to verify what the machines counted, and then we'll certify. Then the losing candidate, if they're within 0.5%, which either one would be, they can ask for a full recount. and then we'll scan those ballots through again. That is their right, and we're going to follow state law.
Yeah, we should underscore as we part here that there's been no issue with the voting machines. Signatures were verified, and you did locate about 2,600 ballots that had not been counted the first time around. They were on a memory stick. They are now going to be counted. So you are a man who follows the law, it would appear, and has integrity in the process. So, Secretary Raffensperger, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.